The summer promised peace. A family, father, mother, 13-year-old daughter, and 8-year-old son chose a small beach town for their getaway. Instead of a noisy hotel, they found a cozy Airbnb at the very end of a cul-de-sac. Behind the house ran a lazy creek, and beyond that, a dense wall of forest stood, creating an illusion of total privacy. The first day was perfect. Sun, salty ocean spray, and the rare sight of children who usually bickered playing together to build sandcastles. In the evening, they returned to the house, ate dinner, and exhausted by the sea air, retired to their rooms. It seemed nothing could disturb this tranquility. The morning of the second day began, not with the smell of coffee, but with anxiety. The 8-year-old son looked as if he hadn't closed his lids all night. He sat over his plate, pale and withdrawn, only breaking into tears after his father's persistent questioning. He explained that during the night, he saw dark figures gliding across the backyard. They emerged from the thicket, approached the house, and then vanished into the shadows of the trees. The most chilling part was when one of the shadows stopped, slowly turned toward a child's window and waved at him. The adults, of course, dismissed it as a child's imagination and the stress of a new place. Ghosts aren't real, they insisted as the boy wiped his tears. But the seed of fear had been planted. That same evening, upon returning from the beach, the father noticed the front door was unlocked. He was certain he had secured it, but blamed it on his wife's forgetfulness. The nightmare became tangible on the second night. Around midnight, there was a knock on the parents' bedroom door. It was the son. He was trembling so violently he could barely stand. He revealed something that made the father's blood run cold. This time, the ghost hadn't just waved. A figure had come right up to the glass and tapped softly. When the child froze in terror, the person outside whispered, "If you scream, I will hurt your entire family." The stranger promised to leave them alone on one condition: if the boy opened the door himself. That night, the child slept in the parents' room while the father stared into the darkness of the yard until dawn. The only thing he noticed was the automatic floodlight on the back deck snapping on, as if someone or something had crossed the sensor's path. On the third night, they decided to have a family sleepover in the living room. All four lay on the floor, building a fortress of pillows and blankets. The father hoped that being together would calm the children. At 2:30 a.m., his son woke him again, gripping his shoulder. At the large sliding glass door stood 3 figures in black hoodies. Over their faces were grotesque masks, with huge bulging white spheres, resembling golf balls. In the moonlight, they looked utterly unnatural. The silence was shattered by the screams of the waking wife and daughter. One of the figures began methodically rattling the door handle, searching for a weak point in the lock. Driven by adrenaline, the father grabbed a heavy walking stick and rushed to the glass, shouting for them to get out. In response, one of the attackers slowly drew a long knife from his waistband and began tracing it in front of the family, as if taunting them through the thin barrier of the glass. The resolution came instantly. The daughter had managed to dial 911 at the very start, and the police responded quickly. Right in front of the family, one of the masked men was tackled to the ground by a rushing officer. The other 2 scrambled toward the woods, but were also intercepted. When the masks were ripped from the detainees, 3 ordinary local young men were revealed. The police later explained, it was a gang that deliberately hunted tourists. They chose families with children, believing them to be easy prey that was simpler to terrify and rob. The family left the town at dawn and never returned to the ocean. They realized a bitter truth. Real monsters do not pass through walls. They wear masks, hide knives in their pockets, and wait in the shadows of your own backyard.